All right, so I teach a C2E curriculum. So my learning goals are basically for students to be able to make video games and get industry certification, learn about the history of esports, learn about the history of the video game industry. I want them to know about the careers that they could go into based on what they're learning in my class. How I involve students in the designing of the different lessons is a lot of my lessons are project-based. So I give students a lot of leeway in sort of designing their own projects in those. So when they're making their own game, they can choose the type of game they want to make. Platformer, a RPG, the list goes on. They get to sort of design that and provide me with design documents, and they get to pick what they want to do. When they're learning, say, Storyboard Pro as an industry certification software, they design the storyboards. They decide what the story is going to be that they're storyboarding. They come up with all of that on their own. What does a typical lesson look like in the classroom? For me, in this particular curriculum, an example would be like when I'm teaching them how to use GML code in GameMaker. I'll put examples of GML code up on the board. I'll put them into GameMaker, show them what it looks like when it's working, have them try that out at their stations, and then take it and make it their own. Do something crazy with it. Make it big, make it small, whatever it is that they need to do with that code to make it theirs and they understand it and it's part of their knowledge base going forward. What learning artifacts am I collecting? The game that they make in the last 9 weeks, the storyboards they make when they're working on Storyboard Pro, the presentations that they do about gaming history and esports history, also their career journal. What is it, the career that they're thinking about going into in esports or the game industry that they've learned about. And what are some other best practices when implementing lessons? I always like to find out what my students are into and then incorporate that into the lessons. I had one group that was really super into SpongeBob SquarePants, and yes, I'm talking about high school students. Doesn't matter. They all love SpongeBob SquarePants. So what I did was anytime it was kind of a boring topic we were going over, I would inject as much SpongeBob as I could. Little sound effects or animations, memes, all that stuff into the lesson, because every time they'd see a SpongeBob thing, it would energize them and get them going. And I think it's always an important thing to do, and I think it would work particularly well with this particular content. My content is basically history of esports video game industry, career knowledge, industry certification, and then making a game. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you.